Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn this Gerber EAB into a folding spoon. Stay tuned. Before we get started, I'd like to ask everybody to please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm push the video out to more people. We really appreciate that. Also, make sure and check out our links in the description box below, www.waypointsurvival.com. We teach survival and bushcraft in various classes, various levels, all the way from your survival and bushcraft phase 1 to primitive survival and bushcraft phase 4. We'd love to have you in a class, so make sure and check out that link. As I stated in the intro, we're going to make it from this Gerber EAB Lite. You can see that. You can get these at Walmart. They're not super cheap, but not horribly expensive either. And there are other models of this made by other manufacturers that you could use. Next, you're going to need a spoon. This is a tablespoon, and notice that it's very flat and it's very thin. So this is super cheap. I bought this at Goodwill. Matter of fact, I got, I think, 12 of these. It's just a really cheap stainless steel spoon, and this is what you're going to need for this project. If you get something that's too thick, it's going to cause you problems. After removing it from the packaging, of course this is razor sharp, you want to take a screwdriver and you want to remove this screw. Now, this is a very tiny screw, and this is the only weak point in the whole system. So I would suggest when you put it back together that you use some Loctite to make sure you don't lose this screw. After setting those items aside, you can see what we have left here in our spoon. So what we're going to do is we need to figure out about how long this needs to be, and we want it to hit the spoon about right there, and we want to keep this angle the same. For that, of course, we're going to use a permanent marker. So we're going to gauge about where the spoon is going to rest in this slot right here, and you can just eye that up and then make a line here at an angle, and then try to match that up as best you can. So you want the curve right here of the spoon, and then you want the angle that you're cutting on the spoon to match that area right there. And you can do it on either side. You prefer maybe doing it from this side, that'll work as well. Of course, then the angle need to be from that direction. Now notice that this spoon has a curve to it, and of course that won't fit very well into the Gerber. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a hammer and we're just going to flatten this out. So again, something like this. So we take that curve out. After you get that marked, you want to take a hacksaw, and before anybody says anything, I have much bigger hacksaws. This is just a hobby size, and it works great for small projects. And then you want to cut this off. After you get that done, take a file and make sure and take off any burrs or any rough edges that you might have. And then you'll also notice that this part here has a slight cup to it. So we need to make sure and pound that out with the anvil as well. This has to be perfectly flat. And just like that, we took out the curve and the cup in it. Nice and flat. After getting that cut, you want to test fit it and make sure that the length is right where you want it so that it fits inside here. Of course, this is angled this way for the knife blade to fit in there. So it looks pretty good. Now notice that this is thicker than the knife blade was, and it won't fit into that slot. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take a file, or you can put it on a grinder, but you're going to have to file this down and take your time until you get this thin enough that it will slide inside of that. Now to do this properly, you need to test fit the spoon using your marker and come in here and mark the spoon so you know the exact spot where to drill it. Next, using this side and being careful not to damage any of the threads, you want to put a hole in the spoon. Once you get that hole drilled, cleaned out and deburred, you want to fit it in together. Make sure the holes line up right, and then reinsert the little screw. Alright, and just like that we have our folding spoon. Of course it's a liner lock, as you can see. holds down really well. Of course, it does have the clip on it, so while you're out and about in camp, you can carry it with you, keep it clean, keep it off the ground. Ready to use, just pull it out and then open it up. It's good to go. And actually, the way this is made, it really holds well in the hand for eating. It's nice and sturdy, doesn't wobble at all, and it's still the same length as the original spoon that I started with, except of course you can now fold it up. It's much more compact, easy to carry. You can put this in with your Stanley 2-cup cook set, and it's just going to make a nice outdoor tool for you. Also note that we have not damaged any of this. You can still take this screw back out, put the knife blade back in it, and you can have an extra knife for whittling around camp. And it closes up nice and tight. Works pretty well. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below, just under the More button. And while you're down there, you'll also find our waypointsurvival.com link. And this is where you can sign up to take great survival and bushcraft training classes here at our beautiful facility in Southern Ohio. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.